Hi, my name is Dawn Meadows, and I'm coming to you from Professor Laurie DeKeely's class, CE 101 Introduction to Early Childhood Education at Kaplan University. What I'm going to do for you is in this video, I am going to run down what I have learned in the past 9 weeks. So that would be unit by unit, 1 through 9. Starting with Unit 1, the thing that stuck out to me the most is the role of an early childhood professional. It's a lot more to it than just going into the classroom, teaching, preparing lessons, going home. It is an ongoing thing. You're a researcher, you're a lifelong learner, a family advocate, and most importantly, you have to learn how to be everything that child may need from you in that classroom, which can sometimes be trying, but it is possible because we have so many who have done it and who are still currently doing it. Unit 2 talked about theorist beliefs, and in the 1600s we had John Locke, who he believed that children were viewed as small adults. That means that there were harsh punishments and it was a little more stricter. However, he did still view that children learn best from hands-on experience, hands-on play, and he promoted playful learning. So I really feel that, he was really on to something, because another thing that he did was he viewed the parents as the teachers. And being that we spend more time with our children in those first 3 years of life before they even hit any kind of preschool or anything, there's so much that we can instill in them. So I was really surprised, and I thought that was a really good theme, and it was awesome even for back then. So moving forward to the 1700s, we have Johann Pestalozzi, who he viewed kids at a more softer view, so it wasn't as such a harsh punishment or anything like that. But he did also, as Locke did, he valued interaction. He thought that kids learn better with hands-on exploration. He valued the mother as the first teacher. So if you look, history kind of goes hand in hand, because one valued parents, the other valued mother. It's still a parent. One thing I did like about Pestalozzi is that he had confidence that all children were capable of learning. And we know that you'll meet children of all different areas who come from different backgrounds, but he believed that all children were capable of learning. And so that goes hand in hand with today's No Child Left Behind Act, which is totally awesome, because it allows each child to feel that I matter. And I think that's so important. Every child needs to know that they matter. So that's really awesome. Moving forward to the 1800s, yay, kindergarten is born. Friedrich Froebel began kindergarten in Germany. He did not do the traditional classroom setting. However, he did it in an actual garden. Like, it was almost like a time of serenity, but hey, we're here to learn. So it made the children more comfortable, and I could imagine it made them more adapt to learn, because it wasn't the stresses of being confined into a classroom. So I thought that was really awesome as well. Moving on to Unit 3, it talked about NACRA. NACRA is the National Association for Child Care Resource and Referral. It offers guidance to preschool as well as daycare centers all throughout the U.S. And it is an awesome website that you can go to. It has, just as it says in the name, it has resources. It can give referrals for parents looking for child care, for preschools who may need just any kind of refreshers or anything like that. It's an awesome association to look into and know about. It also spoke about in Unit 3 laws and regulations. Each state has their own laws and regulations. I live in Georgia, so one of the things that I learned was 17 years or older, no matter if you're involved in daycare or not, you must go through the background check, and you must also be fingerprinted. So I think that is very good, because nowadays you have teenagers who, they may not necessarily be in the daycare, but they're still in the home. And it's good to just know that if you're a home provider, I'm bringing my child here, but everyone is cleared. And that's just awesome, because it's just extra, comfort for the parent. I also learned that you have to have at least 15 credit hours of early childhood education, or ECD, which is early childhood development classes, before you can even open a home daycare within the state of Georgia. Unit 4 talked about the environment, and The environment of a daycare center or a family child care home should be inviting. It should be warm, should be bright. There should not be any smells, any foul smells. True enough, you'll change Pampers in there, but it shouldn't be a lingering smell. There should be various play areas. Like you should have your blocks, you should have music, you should have centers that the kids can just go. Library is good for relaxation, or as I call it, wind down time. You have music and movement, which keeps the kids stimulated. You have the arts and crafts area. You may have a little circle time area. There are many areas within a classroom where you can walk into that classroom and say, okay, this is not just something where my child is just getting dropped off and they'll be bored out of their wits until the end of the day. So I really think that's really, really awesome. Just to have your environment set up to say, I'm going to take care of your child while you are away, and I want you to feel comfortable, because every parent needs to know that I can be comfortable while my child is not with me. So that's one thing I learned about environments. Unit 5, I learned about NIAC, which is the National Association for Education of Young Children, which goes birth to age 8. NIAC offers information not just for educators, but also for parents. And NIAC is one that holds your standards to a certain degree. So, and it's a higher standard. So if you work at a daycare center, it's called accreditation, meaning that your center has went through rigorous training and development. Your director, your trainer, everyone has come together, and the workers in the program have put their best effort forth to make their center exemplary above the other centers in the area. Yes, there can be more than one accredited center in an area. Actually, every center should shoot for accreditation. Or if you're an FCC, Family Child Care Provider, you have what they call the CDA, which is the Child Development Associate Credential. It's just like being accredited, except you're in your home. And there are workers who are in the center who also have CDAs because they went through the class. So it's not just to say that you can only get CDA if you're in the class, but if you do get accredited, you would either be in the center or you would have your CDA in your home. Unit 6 talks about early intervention and at-risk programs. Early intervention is speech therapy, physical therapy. It could also be emotional, social, as far as skills. I think a lot of times parents don't realize that they have a lot of resources that are available to them as far as your emotional and social skills for your children, because just as we go to start a new job, it can be stressful. Starting school can be stressful for our children. So early intervention, especially if you as a parent notice something at home, it's good to look into early intervention. When I say at risk would be like living conditions. If you're a single parent or if you're a teen parent, that and all of this ties into the Head Start program. And what the Head Start program is once again, it gives that boost, it gives that advantage for a child who may not get any kind of teaching, who may not get any kind of structure at home, unfortunately, but it gives you insight to say, this is what may be socially acceptable and unacceptable both in and out of the classroom. So again, Head Start is just what it says. It gives you that head start. Unit 7 spoke on professional training and ongoing education. And as a educator, it is important to stay up to date on any new laws, any new regulations, on any skills, any new training skills, anything like that. They have conferences, they have workshops, they have a lot of different things that you could attend to basically just help you stay on top of being able to educate the young minds. Unit 8 spoke on critical issues in child care. It's a subject everyone doesn't really like to touch on, but it's true, it happens, it's out there, so it's best to just be knowledgeable about it. And that would be abuse and neglect. Let me first say that there's a difference between abuse and neglect. I did not know that before, but I do now. Abuse can be physical signs. It can be actual pain to the child that you or someone else may notice. Neglect is when you have a child that's not being bathed, a child who you can visibly see dirt on. That's my child. I'm so sorry. that you can visibly see dirt on, a child who looks malnourished. Those are signs of neglect, not having a clean home to stay in. And neglect is actually one of the most reported forms of abuse, whereas you would think it would be the physical abuse, a child having marks on them. Neglect is the most reported form of abuse. And that's something that, we can avoid. So it's really important to just pay attention. Pay attention as educators. We need to pay attention and know what's going on with the children around us. I also learned about proper protocol for being a mandated reporter. Being a mandated reporter, backing up, means you have to know the proper protocol. And in the state of Georgia, you don't have to ask for permission to report when you know that there's a problem or when you suspect that there's a problem. All you have to do is have probable cause to suspect a problem, and you can let your director know that you are going to report. However, you do have that option still to report. If you should see anything that's not right, you are a mandated reporter as well. So there is no, I don't know if I should say something, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. If, as an educator, as a provider, if you see a child that is in harm's way and you have a gut feeling, report. There's no two ways about it. It must be done. Sometimes, it can be found to be nothing there, but there are those times, that one time, that it will be found to be something there, and that'll be a child that you saved from whatever the situation could be. Unit 9, we talked about beginning the journey, and that's about preparing our portfolios, establishing a child education philosophy. And I really believe that being an educator, you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to give as well as receive, because a lot of times, not only do the children learn from us, but we learn from the children. So that's what I learned in CE 101, education, early introduction to early childhood education. And anyone that is looking to get into the child care field, I challenge you, when you go through this class, to really take in everything that is given, because it will truly help you in the education field as you pursue your career. Thank you.